Welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a review of a new release from Great Wall Hobby. It is the RAF Strategic Bomber Victor B.2. Now I'm really happy that these guys are doing these releases at the moment. They've done the Vulcan bomber version, the tanker version, the TSR2, which is a little known subject, and now the Victor B2, and I'm hoping that soon, or in the next 6 months or this year, they will release the Valiant as well. So we'll have all three of the V bombers from the RAF during the Cold War years, which is my era. It's a shame a certain company tends to have the monopoly on those at the moment, but these are very underrepresented in the modelling community, and I think they're a fantastic plane. And in being a 1/144, yeah, it's not a massive scale, but I think you pop this into 172 or 158, you're looking at, like, you know, half a metre in 172, more bigger than that in size, you know, easily. Wingspan probably double that. So having it in 1/144 can fit in most people's display cabinets, and to be honest with you, once the Valiant comes out as well, I'm going to knock up a little runway thing to have these displayed somewhere, if I can find somewhere to have them. So I think they're great little kits. The Vulcan was a fantastic little build. This one I'm sure is going to be just as good. So all I'll say is I'm looking forward to looking at this, but Great Wall Hobby, if you're listening, get that Valiant out as soon as possible. But anyway, without further ado, let's have a look inside the box and see what we've got. Okay then, so the Great Wall Hobby 1/144 RAF Strategic Bomber Victor B2. That is the artwork there. As you can see, very nice indeed. Looks very nice. I don't think it comes with a parachute though. So now, obviously, Great Wall Hobby have done a couple of others in this series which I've already mentioned, but they are looking good. I've got to say, I probably will get the whole series. But on the box itself, we have a little bit about a couple of their other kits, some decal, a shot of the decal sheets, some other odds and sods, obviously a paint scheme there, and that's about it. Inside the box is reasonably sturdy. I don't think the model's going to break in there at all, so let's have a look inside. Not too much plastic as it is 1/144, but we'll get it all out and have a look. But I think I'm actually going to make this my next build, and I may even make it a video build. So, right, so let's have a look at, oops, camera, that's very professional. So just move that out of the way, that that's not going to happen again. Right, so okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including their glass bits, plastic sprues. Okay, so let's start with the fuselage. And, as with all Great Wall Hobbies, you don't have to cut these ones, they are sealed stuck bags. I do like the way that every single sprue comes in its own bag, which is the same with most of their kits, in fact all of them I think. So we're having a look here at the main sprue with the fuselage on and everything. And as you can see, you've got a very distinctive shape on the nose and everything. It really is very distinctive. Let's zoom you in a bit so you can see the panel lining and everything. Okay, as you can see, very clean, crisp and clear. And even for 1/144, it looks like it should be, it's in scale as well. As you can see, it's a nice amount of detail there, the panels and everything on the rear tail. Looking very nice indeed. You've got the cockpit. Now there's not much to the cockpit, but you'll understand why. There's not a lot of glass, you can't really see a lot. But you've got some seats there. I'm sure the aftermarket guys are probably already jumping on this as we speak. But overall, that first sprue is very nice indeed. I don't see any problems with that whatsoever. Very nice. It does. I've got to say, it does look like it goes together very well. You've got obviously all these locating pins. There's no EPMs or anything like that, apart from in areas where you're never going to see them. It looks like the front wheel well there as well, and that even that at 1/144 has got some good detail inside. So that's going to come up nice. We've then got the lower wing sections by the looks of it. Again, I have to say that I really do like Great Wall Hobby kits. I haven't seen a bad one yet, and I've got a few of them. Even their armour stuff is really good as well, and some different subjects as well, which is nice. So this is the lower halves of the wings, and as you can see again, same level of detail as there was on the fuselage. Very clean, very crisp. It's like it's very precise. It's not like you get a lot of kits, and a lot of their stuff is it looks like it's been. I mean, like the lines are just a bit soft. You know, they're not quite there. They don't really do it. You then got the fuel tanks as well, and again, nice. It look like it all go together. There's no hint of flash or burring or anything like that whatsoever. We've then got the third sprue. Okay, and these are the lower parts. The other with the upper, I do apologise, but again, some very nice details, all clean and crisp, and as I say, no hint of flash or anything on there. And each sprue is stamped with exactly what it is, part number and everything, sprue number, very easily to find and see. So very nice indeed. And the actual holders themselves are all in logical positions. You know, the sprue gates, they're not in positions that's going to make you work by the looks of it. We've then got a little bag that has several little bits and bobs in it. I'm going to open that way because it would be easier. And in here we have, there's more sprues. Now this is nice. These delicate sprues, delicate parts are actually sellotaped to a nice piece of card to stop them bobbling around. So we're just going to have a look at these little sprues here, which are sellotaped on. And obviously I want to be careful. And we've got this one here, and this has got the legs and everything. And it looks like maybe looks like part of the air brake system, I think, there. But some really nice detail on the legs. Zoom you in so you can have a look. As you can see, it's nice work for when you consider this is 1/144. It's going to be quite small, but overall the model is going to build up to, you know, pretty much a 148 in a lot of the old World War II fighter planes and everything. And we've got another sprue here, obviously just with a few of the parts of the air brakes by the looks of it. These parts here, and some side panels probably for the wheel wells, I would imagine. And you've then got the lower fuselage, what would be the Bombay, I suppose. And then we've got the glass. Now let me just pop this off. Let's have a quick look at this. Right, so the glass. Okay. Now looking at it, as you can see, it's very clean and crisp. Very nicely see-through. I'm just going to have a look, see if we get any distortion. And believe it or not, there's no distortion in that at all, which for a tiny bit such as that is absolutely fantastic. So let's just get you in here. And as you can see, very clean, very crisp, no rub marks, no scuffs, no anything. But as you can see, it's a very tiny amount. You think once you get your mask on that, it's going to be reasonably tiny. It really is. There's not a lot you can see through that. The only problem is there really isn't a lot of detail in the cockpit. Now, obviously, you can probably do yourself some seat belts and things like that. Will be easy enough to do. But other than that, I think really if you just manage to paint a few bits and bobs on, you're not going to have too many problems with that, because you really aren't going to see much through that at all. And the cockpits were all like a black, dark grey black, like a tyre black really. So you're not really going to see much in there anyway. I think the seats were a slight green and a green covering and everything, but that's really about it. So it's going to be, it looks like a very interesting build so far. We then come on to the decals, or the decals, whatever you would like to call them. And again, they come in their own sheet with a nicely backed everything. Now the decals themselves, they look to be all in register. And what I like about GWH decals is, you won't be able to see it on this, but the transfer is very close to the carrier film, the end of the carrier film, so there's not much overlap over the end of the decal or the decal. So they tend to be really nice, and the last lot of decals I did with Great Wall Hobby stuff, they went down really well. So it'd be interesting to see what these go down like. They feel a little bit raised, but you got to remember on a 1144 nothing's going to be ultra smooth because it's quite a small scale model. So we've then come on to the instructions, and we've got on here we've got a A4 gatefold piece of paper. It's magazine quality paper, which is really nice. You can probably spill a bit of water on that and you'll be fine. But on the front, we've got obviously the picture that's on the front of the box. A few little legend there to tell you what things mean. We've then got the paints. Now all the paints are in guns. It says GSI Mr. Colour, but they're actually hobby colour, so they're aqueous ones. So they're really good, so it's very easy to do, and obviously that's my my paint of choice. We've also got a sprue map here, and it's numbered, which is excellent. I love numbered sprue maps. It does mean that you can go balls out and, you know, literally take all the plastic off the sprues in one go, clean it all up, and then you're ready to put it together. I just think it makes the whole process easier in my humble opinion. So then we've got the first page of the instructions. It literally is, you've got, this is the air brakes here. I'm going to do mine sitting on the tarmac, so it won't have the air brakes out, so I'm not going to do that. Really, you should only put air brakes out on an aircraft model if it's coming landing in a runway or whatever, or up in the air, or just coming into land. It does say here you've got to put 3.5 grams of weight in there, so I will go with 7. Always double up your weight that people recommend. And then it literally is, you know, obviously you're going to do the cockpit. One thing here, there is no paint call outs for the cockpit, which is a little bit of a boo-boo, I think. Apart from that, you then got the front wheel wells there as well that goes together, which I would suggest. I'm trying to think what the inside of the wheel well covers well. I can't remember. We'll have a look in a bit. But again, it doesn't give you a colour call out for it or anything. Then it's fitting the tail sections together, putting them on. Then the cockpit goes, the cockpit glass goes on, and then it's saying pop the aerial on and things like that. Now, usually I wouldn't do that, mainly because I will knock it off. I always do. But it's quite a sturdy one, and it's on top of the fuselage. It's not right on the end of the nose, so it would be worth doing it straight away. Then come over, then it's just popping the the wing parts together with the jets and the exhausts and everything. Then putting the fuel tanks on. Now again, the fuel tanks I will probably leave until last. I always tend to do them separate. Just works out easier that way. And then obviously with or without your air brake system on. Now this bit here you can do right at the very beginning here if you want as well. But apart from that, it seems very easy, very simple. So there's not a great deal of instructions here because there's not a massive amount to. No, I can't remember how many parts there are to this kit, but it's not a monumental amount. And then it is basically just bapping the wings together, and then decide obviously down wheels up or wheels down, whether you're going to have the flaps either wheelbase up or down. I'm going to go wheels down on this, just sitting on the tarmac. I've got a nice little bit of tarmac that I wouldn't mind this, you know, the photograph that I've downloaded, printed out, and then just I'll stick that on a bit of cardboard, just to make it look a little nice. And that's pretty much it as far as the instructions go. You've then got, which I really love, as you know, you've got colour paint call out, a separate sheet. Now the reason I like a separate sheet like this is, the fact is you can stick it on above your spray bay, you can stick it above where you're working, and it gives you a little bit of, as you're building the model up, it just gives you a bit of what it should look like at the end, which I think is really nice. But that's just me. Now there are 3 schemes if I remember rightly. We've got RAF Squadron, 100 Squadron from 1963, 139 Squadron from 64, and 139 Squadron from 62. And the only difference is obviously the operator's number, oh God, I've forgotten the number. Oh, anyway, that mark, the serial number of the aircraft. God damn it, memory block. And then you've got obviously these 3 symbols here. Now, I'm probably going to go for the 64, which is the latest version, just because that's pretty much it really. The paint scheme is there's one paint scheme for all 3. I think it's awesome looking aircraft when it's all done up and together. The paint call outs, as I say, are all in hobby colour, and 3 main colours. That's pretty much it really. All the others are odds and sods and greebles, and just silvers and blacks and things like that. And then you've got, the only tricky part you can see on here is the way that the paint scheme actually comes over the wing on the tailplane and the wings at the front. So you're going to have to, normally I wouldn't even bother masking a wing when I'm spraying. I just literally spray at a certain angle and nothing goes on underneath, and actually get a nice bleed line on the wing edge itself. With this way, you're going to have to mask the whole of the underneath because you need to do this, otherwise it's not going to be right. So you have to carry your paint scheme over the wing edge, and same for the tailplane and things like that. So you're going to have to mask all this off. The nice thing about that is the fuselage, the paint is a complete straight line all the way along, which is going to make it very easy to mask off instead of doing wavy lines and all this sort of stuff. So paint scheme, it's going to be a little bit tricky because obviously, also thinking about it, you're going to have to do the jet intakes as well. Yeah, the paint scheme actually curls over into the jet intakes here. Now that is going to be tricky. Okay, so what I would recommend is when you get to this stage where you put these in, where you put these together, spray the full of the insides up, colour them up, don't have to weather them, but colour them up the way you want them, and then just literally cover the whole thing in tape and stick it together. And what I usually do then is spray the model and then I'll peel the tape out at the end. And you're better off having a bit of tape left in there that you can probably just carefully cut out than you are trying to mask up once it's all together, because it'll be near on impossible. So that would be my tip for this model. But overall, I have to say, I'm probably going to make, I was going to do a fish bed, MiG-21F fish bed for my next aircraft. In fact, I'm going to do this next, so I really wouldn't mind getting stuck into this and getting this built and having a crack at that paint scheme, because that's going to be quite tricky around these little areas and things like that, so I'm quite looking forward to that. But for me, GWH RAF Strategic Bomber Victor B2, I can't wait till we get the Valiant as well. So we've got all three V bombers in the series, and they'll make a nice little display on wherever you're going to have them. But for me, I mean, that's a good 8.5, 9 out of 10 from me, so a total recommend from me. But that's it. Thanks a lot. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.